players with one shot. This is Jim's second. Just a little shorter this time. Just applying a little bit more pace with his second.
I'll just look to repeat second delivery up through the gap between Jim's two balls to add another. Line looks decent. How's your weight? Just dropping onto the ball of Jim's, so we'll be disappointed to give that away. Now a chance for Jim to add another. Almost returning the favour.
Settling just a little short, deflecting of Allen's ball. Allen's delivery a little wider this time. Fine line though.
Yeah, difficult to tell from the angle, but he have given Jim another. So Jim opens the scoring with a single.
Spectators, some enjoying a late breakfast. You mentioned quite the contrast. There wouldn't be any need really for many sunglasses on display yesterday, but a few spectators and players sporting them today. Anticipation is it could get quite warm during the course of the day.
Very good line.
They're relatively happy with that weight as well, I would imagine.
And again with a great line, he's just underplayed it a fraction.
Resting just a little short.
It's gone slightly wider here, but this will hook down at the death. And he's played it well. Nicely done. The weight was the problem. Line was good enough.
Almost close to being a carbon copy of what we witnessed just a few moments ago with his earlier play.
Yeah, Alan kind of walk up to have a look before he plays his final delivery. Plenty room to add again on the backhand side, so a repeat of his previous delivery, but he does have a choice to play the other side too.
Both players having a good look at the situation. Jim with the wind jacket on, stands, watches on as Alan looks to set his final ball on the way.
He's picked a good line again. His weight. So one conceded. One accepted.
Came round along me. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Alan defeated Cardonald's Vince McCulloch in the opening round, 21-16. Jim Moffat progressing to this second round match after a victory over Mintlaw's David Hay by 21-14.
Waving his arms at this as he's not quite reaching. Nicely done.
Nice camera shot and very nice delivery there from Jim.
Choosing to flip to the other side, play with a bit of pace, chance of the ball. Yeah, he'll not be unhappy with that. He's changed the shape, given himself some room. You'd expect him to face two down by the time he goes back to play his final delivery. Indeed.
Alan's delivery then.
That's where the camera angles become challenging, Stuart. It's difficult to tell. The marker's stepping in for a look. He'll give us an idea shortly. Not sure he gave any indication there, so
No, that was
it may well be close.
suggesting very little there, you know.
Conceded.
Yeah, it's difficult to make a judgment just using the cameras that we have, so. First requirement of the measure in this over 55's second round singles gents match.
It's like just the one. So players just trading singles in the early stages of this one.
Yeah, just marginal gains in the opener. Collection of rather expressive looks there on Alan's face as he watched his first delivery head down towards the jack, but not quite what he was looking for.
Sure, Alan will make the correction.
From the opposite side.
Certainly that inside hand is the more forgiving of the two.
You are about 4 or 5 inches short of the white.
Now How's your running? Very good, I would suggest.
And that was really picking Allen's line and an excellent delivery there.
So Allen does here. He may attack this. Bigger drawing ball. They make it back. Yeah, great try. Difficult to say whether he saved one there or not. Umpire called. Have to prop this ball of Allen's up before removing the shot ball to make sure it doesn't roll any nearer the jack.
George, I'm doing it to you, Mike Frank. Mike Stevens on drink.
Just the one. Just the one.
He has indeed saved a second there. Indeed saved a second there. Spectators in early. Spectators in early. Concentration, as are the players. Sort of concentration, as are the players.
Yeah, the complex is actually quite busy. The complex is the cameras are quite busy. Just any justice. The cameras probably don't do this any justice. This is mostly singles. The crowds are attracted more to. The crowds are attracted some more to fours games and things that are going on round about. Fours games and things that are going on round about. And of course the youths. And of course the youths.
Real anticipation about the quality of the quality of the youth play. To see it really firsthand in the last of the games I covered a year ago. Some exceptional play and some exceptional play in difficult conditions yesterday.
There's a lot of talented youth out there. There's a lot of talented youth out there at under 18 level. Under 18 and level. Their enthusiasm. And when enthusiasm, as you say, is when energy is tremendous, as you say, is tremendous.
Fearless approach. An occasion as this. An occasion as this. National championships.
Yeah, fearless, nerveless. Yeah, fearless, nerveless. They play with the freedom. Absolute freedom. They play with the freedom. Absolute freedom. I think what was impressive in the pairs game yesterday. Was their both maturity around. Was their shot maturity around. Their many players may have, chased a multiple. Then they recognised the risk and just got on with a more conservative and probably the correct play. So their shot selection was very good.
They can be
just disturbed there. Going across the back of the rink.
A few more people just making their way in. there. This is, of course, rank 1 on green A. Allen immediately after it.
Needs to get by that front one. It's very close. Well played. Tap of the hip from Jim. It's the last few ends Allen's had to play a recovery bowl with his last delivery, facing a couple against. He'll be keen to make sure his first two are more consistent.
Yes, reduces the opportunity to really build anything.
Yeah, he's just putting himself under a little bit of pressure. Leaving this one on again.
Jim down the opposite side, a little shorter.
Yeah, pretty much his first foray up that side, isn't it? Going this way, and it is a stickier side. It's a bit heavier. And again, waving this on.
How much work will have been carried out on the greens or individual rinks? Is it difficult to say based on just thinking of the change from the weather yesterday to today? It just would naturally dry out overnight.
Yeah, if you go back, I don't know, maybe it's only 2 or 3 weeks now. There was a European Open pairs here, and the greens were running up at 13.5 seconds or so. Not quite sure what the greens are timed at today, but I'd be surprised if they're any more than 10. You know, so these greens, this is just an opinion more than anything else, but they seem to slow up dramatically with any type of rain, watering, whatever. I do expect them to, you know, with better weather this week, I do expect them to start to speed up. Jim got the best of that result. He was narrow and heavy. Again, Allen facing 1, maybe 2 against with his last delivery. Quite open. Jim to add another. Needs to be clear. He's had a few of those, hasn't he? Just a nick of something and landed well.
If anything, Allen's last bowl, had it nicked the one on that far outside, may well have done him a favour. So Jim just at the moment enjoying just the slightly better of it as we approach half an hour's play. Game 26 minutes old. referred to Alan's international experience just in the introduction, and that coming just over 20 years ago now, 16 international caps.
Never leaves you though. I think you know, you carry that experience with you forever.
I think that's very much the case with so many sports.
It's a good correction. Alan might feel a bit better about himself putting his first ball past, because his first efforts have been pulling up 2.5 feet to a yard short. Yeah, a bit like that.
Alan's first delivery there, you mentioned, just past the jack. Very few have actually gone beyond the jack to sit just in behind. There are quite a few up short, but
Jim's punishing this. He's starting to find this well, coming down this side. Already that's a difficult head for Alan to play into.
Jim building up what could be a promising end. And Alan going just in behind. Beyond.
Jim needs another one in the area. Alan may be tempted to go quite quick at this down the forehand, try and get the 2 balls. Back one's maybe a little bit of insurance. That'll go quickly.
Fortunately for Alan, all the way through. Both players making their way down to that far end. Productive couple of ends there for Jim.
Mr. Wee Fraction. Thank you.
Starting to find a bit of line and length and a bit of consistency. Quite decent again, Jim.
Quite the contact he was looking for there. They certainly delivered with more pace.
A nice line again. Just make it quite tidy.
Relatively happy with that outcome, with the final bowl of the end for Jim.
Big delivery coming up. And I'll play through this with pace again. Really catching the ball of Jim's to the right hand side of the jack as it sits. Either replacing it and sitting himself or moving it onto the jack, squirting it over to his own one. Just pausing. This is probably the joys of playing in and around rink one, and that people will start to move around the complex and move across the back of the rinks. How's your luck? Great effort at the target he was looking for.
Alright, there's quite a few things.
One. It's like a 2 the way that scoreboard's being turned over. Just missed the indication from the marker. Commanding lead for Jim as we start to play the ninth end. 10 shots to 2. We're just correcting that scoreboard for you. So there's a chance for Alan to step in. Oh, a good line for his ball.
Good pace too.
Yeah, much better. Still room.
One of his better opening deliveries though.
Slightly surprised to see Jim doing this, but you can tell he's got his tail up and he's confident. That's a good flip onto the other side. A great outcome.
Good response there from Jim.
I saw someone asking in the chat how Graham Archer was getting on. He's playing on the adjacent rink, rink 2, and just spied the scoreboard there, so it's 6 shots each. Just missing the line. His last ball's made it slightly more challenging for him.
Wider line takes So just that bit deeper and beyond the jack.
I'm sure Jim will just look to repeat his second delivery. Add another shot. Chance on either side for Alan, depends on his preference. Either lift his own on the forehand, or he could maybe play down the other side with maybe a yard or two pace. Again, lift the ball, he's got the jack, he's got back positions. Chances, but neither of them straightforward.
Doesn't have a very good picture in his head of what is down by the jack, having observed for a good couple of minutes.
Can't afford to go out there. Just missed the line.
So similar to his penultimate bowl of the that end. So again, Jim very steady all the way through the match so far.
He's winning the battle of the first two bowls, isn't he? You know, singles, the first two bowls are critical in singles. You've got to be consistent with your first two. As I said about the third or the fourth end, you know, Alan faced two against, I think, for 3 ends in a row, and managed to dig himself out a little bit of trouble. But the last few ends, conversion shots just deserted him a little. So he'll know what he has to do. He'll know the first two just need to be a bit more consistent. Start.
Yeah, that certainly does eclipse his opener from the previous end.
Jim's watching this quite closely.
Does he get a nudge on? He does.
Achilles heel up to now.
So many deliveries with a very good line, but just perhaps a fraction short in pace.
Chance on either side for Jim, depending on what his preference is. Anywhere through that gap between the two balls on the inside hand, his backhand, there's a chance of either arriving on his own or pulling the jack through. He's got a shot on the other side, just to punch his own onto Alan's, removed from the head completely. direction on your last. Good try, maybe just a little tentative. Sure, Alan will be too brave with this. Be keen to card that single. Good try. Maybe. Certainly no danger from coming round that front one. He's left it in. I would suggest there's a look for two. Two conceded. Oh, we're hoping that's a turning point in this game for him. Now dictate his length, change it a little. Hope to be in with one of his first two.
Yeah, that's his first success since the fifth end. 11-4. It's the jack. These players then, the winners, will go on to the third round. The semi-finals, I think, are tomorrow. Silver there then from Alan.
We got to find way in about. That's a game. Good buyers, that. Maybe you're running away for a start.
Alan suggesting there with the open right arm that he was looking for a little bit more width from that delivery before it started to cut in.
Yeah, we're getting a bit frustrated with this too. Short holes are really killing him. Yeah. That will also frustrate him because it's not the first time that's happened. This is a much better effort. Drops round, he's got a chance. Well played. Rightly for a look. Picture of this in his own mind.
Just reminding himself of the picture as he was walking sort of backwards there.
Yeah, I think what we're not sure of, because we didn't see the indication from the markers, who holds shot. second last. A dead weight, I'm genuinely not sure who holds. Did have a chance on the other side as well, round his own front one. Maybe just to touch the jack for a 3. Difficult to execute, to be fair, but definitely there. This might tell us. Imagine if Jim thinks he has shot against him, he'll arrive with this with some weight in the forehand, try and punch Allen's away or even move his own onto the jack. Or what? Allen's left the jack alone, so Jim moves on to 12.
Those without sunglasses just shading their eyes from the sun. Such a different picture to 24 hours ago, where players had waterproofs on and were carrying towels and in regular use.
Often 2 towels, as I watched yesterday. So, yeah, this is much better environment to be playing in. Asking a couple of questions, clarifying his own mind where the position of the balls are. Be keen to add another. Pretty good.
I don't think he'll be overly disappointed with that.
Marker's indicating 3, yeah. Massive ball in the context of the game now.
This potentially could take Jim's lead into double figures, depending on the outcome of Allen's final delivery.
It's a good line for Allen's ball. Drop right down. I think he's drew it, you know. Yeah. Very well done.
Certainly coming up with the goods when it was required.
Well, he needed to. That would have moved Jim into an even more commanding lead. There's just been a couple of signs in the last few ends that Alan's consistency is maybe just improving. So it's never over till it's over.
I think the schedule will see the winner of this match play again at 2:30 in the third round.
Could be. I've not checked the schedule on this one today.
The winner of the Tam Cornish Graham Archer match.
It's a battle from the east of the country, isn't it? Graham Archer, Cockenzie and Port Seton.
And Walliford, so that's there's not much distance
Certainly is not.
between the two respective clubs.
Graham, a former winner of the singles here, the mainstream singles. World medalist. Gold, for that matter.
And with you just saying that, I suppose underlining the calibre of players on show for the spectators, to come and see across the age range.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that's where it comes back to that whole, inclusivity option, is that these players, this is the over 55s. They're just as capable of putting on the same kind of show or better in the mainstream singles.
And when they submit biographies, quite often you look at years played, and in the case of these players, in excess of 45 years.
Galloway's just overplayed. His line would just about have done him. Running.
No, that certainly would be in
have a-
contention.
Let's have a good look at this. I'm not sure that his own ball's not still moving at the back there. There.
Yep.
Yeah, that will have made a difference.
Well spotted, Colin.
Yeah, made all the difference.
Well, Alan's picked up 4 shots in the last 4 ends to Jim's 1. So just an indication that there is a slight swing in the game. Match.
I think it's just grit and determination at the minute that's getting, you know, Alan through. It's maybe Jim's worst end of the match there. He's only narrowly conceded 1. Dunby's back on it again. Looks like he's giving himself a talking to at the back of the rink there.
He'll want to resume his grip on the match. Jim leading 12-6.
Look, it's frustrating as a player. Nobody tries to do that. But bowls is about kind of touch and feel, and when you let them go and you think they're good and they pull up a yard or more short, it's often challenging to make the adjustment. It's a better bowl there.
The match now has reached the hour mark.
To contact. Well, it's a narrower line. So caught on his own. Don't think his weight was too bad, to be honest. Sure, he's pushed this. So, chance for Alan to put another in. That's the question. That's a decent line for his bowl. It'll drop all the way down. Can you stop? You can indeed. Jim's turn to try and convert with his last ball. Stalking it. Needs contact. Oh, hands on hips. I think you could feel another one drifting in there. So, 2 shots to Alan.
Alan Haney continuing the comeback. There's 4 shots now between the players. 12-8 to Jim Moffat.
Yeah, he'll be quietly pleased with the way he's kind of edging his way back into this tie from 2-11 back. But momentum is everything.
Alan's first bowl.
Yeah, I can see him getting a bit frustrated, probably with himself and the rink. Better line. It's going to sneak inside.
Yeah, neatly judged.
If Alan can drop round those bowls and put one nice and close, yeah, it's going to make it really difficult for Jim to change, but he's just been dragged on and giving it away.
Alan's final shot of this end.
I think he's got to trust himself to drop in. It's his weight that's beat him there more than anything else. I think if he'd been a couple of feet lighter, he probably would have dropped in for the shot. Reaching. One red.
So 13-8 to Jim Moffat. Jim Moffat of Dean. Alan Haney of Glenluce.
Close. Just making it, I think. Right.
It's a nice line there from Alan. Good second bowl.
Yeah, nice positive shot required from Jim. Up that backhand side. Grab all Allen's and punch it through. Or grab the jack. Just not enough pace, I don't think.
Yeah, just resting up against his.
Felt like he required a more positive shot than that. Allen's picked a great line again. Nicely done.
Very nice on that backhand. Jim down for a look.
Yeah, he'll be kicking himself, I'm sure, for not being up with his last one. The way Alan's played that now, he's tucked it into a position that's quite difficult to get at. Definitely a shot down the ditch side. Lift his own or arrive on the back bowl and down. Or he could stick to that backhand side and draw, but I think he's choosing this side. Needs to remember it's a big swinger. It's gone. Good your memory, Alan. Same as your last.
Look to use the backhand again.
Trotting after this. Oh, he likes it. Just needs to run.
Perhaps needed just a fraction more.
So, good try. Closes the gap once again, though. Turned into a really good tussle, this, Stuart.
Well, that's, I think, 8 shots in the last 7 ends for Alan Haney. So it brings him back to within 3. Tussle a few of these spectators, I'm sure, would have perhaps been hoping for or expected.
See Alan's confidence building as well. He's much more comfortable in his delivery.
One aspect he'd be disappointed on in the early ends was that opening delivery, but both players opening this end well with a good opening bowl. Jim just coming up short with a second ball. Backhand this time from Alan. Already into a jog.
Great try. sure what I was looking at. Yeah, it looks like there's danger on that forehand side, the way his ball hooks round there. He may look to either draw on the ditch side or arrive into Jim's ball on the inside and make 2 or 3. Again, risk and reward. I'd imagine that will hook very quickly. Yeah, it's gone. Jim has a similar opportunity. It's about what he's comfortable with. He can play up that forehand side, the inside hand, just turn one of his own, or he could elect to maybe play a little bit stronger and try and take Allen's out. Risk, of course, is he puts it onto the jack and he loses another one. It can only really be one worse. Chasing this, just wide.
And all the way through.
Allen marches on. Or single.
Bit more activity now behind the players. As we reach 10 to 11 on a Monday morning. It's day 3 of the 2026 National Championships.
Just a touch, it's needing by the look of it.
Interaction between the players.
It's been the difference the last few ends, isn't it? Allen's first ball much better than it certainly was in the first 8 or 9 ends. It's a great reply. It's a bit close to the jack. Yeah, well played.
To open with 2 both in contention, that's perhaps the difference from some of the opening ends.
It certainly is.
From Allen's point of view.
The language is urging this on. I don't think he's too bad. He won't be unhappy with that. He's giving himself a chance. See the frustration there, Jim waving his arm at that. Oh, Allen has that jack. just round the corner. For a count of 4.
Very often Alan favouring the backhand.
These fingers when they let that go. What does that mean? I suggest he's very, very close. Well, he's not quite moved it for 4, but he's almost made it impossible for Jim to score here. He's got a side toucher or nothing else.
I'd imagine just at the moment a quiet contentment for Alan Haney. Jim comes down for a good look. So final ball of the end for Jim. Only no choice but to go with the backhand.
You know, he's very close.
What's that
What
line
a
like?
tremendous effort.
I mean, that's exceptional play given the circumstances, you have to say, Colin.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's got nothing out of that really. It's not changed it at all. But he really couldn't have played it any better. Umpire getting involved in something here. Not clear what.
So we are all square.
You can see Alan urging that jack along there. He's trying to get that as much up the full length as he possibly can. But we're all square.
Forehand opener there from Jim that comes up a little short.
Yeah, and Alan's probably breathed a sigh of relief because that's his slackest opening delivery for quite a few ends.
Going to try and make up somewhat for it now.
He has. He's just overplayed it a fraction, but it's better. Very narrow line.
Just nudging Alan Haney's opener there.
Doesn't want to be in the back of this one.
He's found a way through.
Nope.
Wider approach.
Well, it's a bit of a slack end, but it's turning into an opportunity for Alan if he can add another. Fearful, I think, of that short ball, so flips to the other side. Giving it a chance on the line. It's a heavier side though. Are you running?
Just runs out of steam.
Jim will be keen to put a stop to the Allen's run. This would be a cheap 2 to lose. I think he's narrow. He is. Certainly by the standard that these guys have been playing at, that's a cheap 2 for Allen as he hits the front for the first time in the match.
15-13. It's been remarkably consistent really since the 10th end. As he began to come back with 2. Since then he's had a further 3 ends where he's picked up two shots. Just mops the brow.
Nudging this one on. Played Jim, certainly punishing it this time.
Jim moving the jack, but certainly with the much better of the opening 2 bowls.
Yeah, I'll be a bit annoyed with that. See him shaking his head there. Jim's job now is to apply a bit of pressure. Just guarantee beating those 2 bowls in the front. He's going to have to wiggle his way through.
Is there enough space? There is.
It's not great, but it's a shot.
This you feel, Colin, would be a very important end for Jim to pick up something.
Yeah, for sure. Frustration for Allen will be he's got himself back in the game. He's put his nose in front, and he doesn't want to lose the cheapest of counts. He should face with his last delivery 3 down. This one may have to wiggle through again. No. That was travelling at some pace. Just needs to compose himself, regroup, rely on that backhand draw that he started to play so well. Trotting after it.
Jim's last ball just clinging on to the edge of the green.
We've seen what that trotting after looks like before. Can he fall against the bias for the shot? No. But he's cut it down, so he won't be unhappy with that. He'll be annoyed at the first 3 bowls, but his recovery bowl, as we've seen almost throughout this match, has been very good.
In some ways this end is much similar to a few of the ends in the opening 5 or 6.
Certainly is.
Where Jim was just picking up the single shots. Can he add to it? Not with that.
No, chance missed, you would suggest for Jim, but stops the rot.
So Alan Haney remains in front just by a single shot. A few very close first round matches in the miserable conditions yesterday. A few 21-20 scores.
I say, it's outdoor balls, and sometimes, you know, with the conditions and the greens, you just need to find a way.
I think the winner of this match will head to Green C this afternoon for the third round before the semi-finals are played, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah, just well, there's a break in play there. You know, there's just some information again on Alan, who, you know, he has had a good kind of international career. We've said he won the Scottish Fours in 1998 alongside club mates Alan McHarry, Ian Lavery and Dan Fisher. But I guess the bit that maybe not that many know is, whilst he is a former internationalist, he was part of the elite squad from 2005 to 2007 and was part of the squad that was picked from the Commonwealth Games. Didn't quite make it, but he did travel to Australia to play with the Scotland team in a test series. So, you know, he's got lots of experience behind him, and I think you've seen a bit of that. You know, the fight, the determination, you know, the recovery with the last balls, and you know, he's got himself back in this game. But it's anybody's at this point.
Yeah, and I think that the mental, the concentration, and the ability to not be overawed by an 11-2 scoreline, you know, with all that experience and being in Melbourne, Commonwealth Games in 2006, 20 years ago, of course, held in Melbourne in Australia.
Yeah, of course, he's got plenty of experience in his own right, and he's digging things out. Just lost that kind of relative consistency with his first ball, hasn't he, in the last few ends. And he'll be really disappointed that that's his choice of jack length, and to drop it so far short. And watch Alan do that, but very beatable.
Remains very open. Match been going now for an hour and a half. As the scoreline will tell you, it's very much nip and tuck. Opening ends, Jim building up a sizable lead. Alan, though, from end 10 has really started to find his form.
Scrappy, isn't it?
At this moment in time, you feel it could be another end won by just a single shot.
He won't want to be up the back of that. Has he just got inside? He has indeed.
Jim.
He's coming at this with some pace, needs the jack.
And it's all the way through.
Play here, Alan. Do you take the risk? Just try and miss the ball on the forehand, or do you flip to the other side and hope to go just either side of Jim's ball? Backing himself to miss this ball on the forehand. As you know, maybe enough.
From the possibility of one. Could well be a case of Allen increasing his lead by 3. Which he does, 18-14. What at one stage looked quite an open end. Has been one that Allen kept his play neat and tidy enough to take 3 shots.
And that happens quite often when the scrappiest ends yield the biggest scores.
And I think only the second time in the match that an end has claimed 3 shots.
Yeah, we saw it on end 6 for Jim. I can see that finishing line now. To push home that advantage, but again waving that first one on. So frustrated with himself.
Backhand opener, just slipping behind the jack to the side.
One of the 3 that Allen needs. If he's running, it's very close. Nicely done.
Almost resting against the jack.
Yeah, he needed that, I think. And we'll just look to sit that ball away if he can. Catch anything of it, he gives himself a chance to make the game.
So at the moment 1 with Jim.
If he can get down and just grab that jack, just change it a touch, that makes a big difference. Sat before, Allen was punching that ball away for a match lie. It's not on now.
Allen then back to the mat. It's the final ball of the end.
It's a good line for his ball. How's your luck?
Oh, sails through that gap.
Goodness.
And not much of a gap to go all the way through without touching either one of Jim's balls or the jack itself. So Jim looking to try and rescue 2 back. But has a final delivery himself. Final ball. This final shot then for Jim. Begins to swing in.
It's the run. Just failing, I think.
Looks like he'll have to settle for 2.
Yeah, he'll be content with that.
some action on the other rinks. This match taking place on Green A. And a more accurate opener again from Allen, using a slightly wider forehand.
Just asking the marker's opinion on who holds and the position of goals. He's made up his mind, he's flipped to the other side. Good weight, you'll get back. Yeah, nicely done again.
Okay, if I come up.
Quite see what the marker indicated there. It's difficult to tell.
This is when you really need an aerial shot.
Fallon, if he holds one or excuse me, or indeed two, I think he'll just try and repeat the second delivery, come round the head. He knows that hand's going to drop, or at least his ball's going to drop in there. So I can't imagine he'd flip to the other side, so if there's too much risk. He's on the narrower side. How do you play here, Jim? Again, we've not really got a good knowledge of who holds. I suspect if Jim doesn't hold shot, he'll be playing into this a little bit of running. Goes quite quick there.
Allen's final shot of the end.
Doesn't want that. To blue.
So Allen requiring 2 then. His players playing in the second round after victories yesterday.
Okay, no problem. Right. Right.
Both electing for a backhand opener.
Well played. Looks a bit light.
What can Jim produce with this second shot?
It's all about weight. It looks pretty decent.
Almost a carbon copy of his
Yeah.
opener.
Just change something to give himself a chance here. Go very, very quickly. Not really seeing a way out of this for Allen.
He's not been able to produce his best
He could.
in this end. There's still this one opportunity, but with the 3 deliveries so far, he'll need to just alter approach.
He's got no back position at all. Try and draw a second shot. Could take a big risk and try and drive the 2 balls off. But you can't help thinking that, you know, the jack has to move at the same time. Let's see. What can he conjure up? Well, he's just, theory's made it more difficult for Jim to add a third. I guess that's second prize. Good enough line. Good enough weight. Nicely done.
Excellent end result then for Jim Moffat. So that brings us back to all square. So it is very much going down to the wire.
Alright. Hope it's better luck for you than it is for me.
played.
Able to slip inside Jim's opener.
Yeah, I think if he'd had a fraction more weight to reach the jack, I think he would have contacted Jim's first ball. Jim's got a slightly narrower ball, so I think his line is inside anyway. This is where you want to hammer home this advantage straight away. Put 2 in. Stay clear, and he is. Well played. Very nice.
Excellent line from Allen. Of course, both players now 19 all, very much aware of what is at stake.
Yeah, I think Jim's got to move to the ditch side. Shots. There's still a play on down the inside hand, his forehand, but imagine the percentage plays down the ditch side, inside his own, onto the shot ball, or if he's a fraction wide, he's got a chance of turning on his own in near the head.
Looking at the stance just before the delivery, you can see it would be a ditch side.
Dive.
So its way all the way through.
The question in Alan's head right now will be, do I add another? And if he takes one out, I'm still got a game lie, or do I just try and reach his back bowl down the forehand side to avoid a game lie against should Jim collect the jack on the way by? This looks like he's gone the wide side to try and cover that back bowl. It's to stay on. Well, that's what he was trying. He was trying to cover that side so that he didn't go up with last ball facing game lie against. You can see how quickly this could change with this delivery. From game down to holding the match. I might see something a bit firmer here. I might go a little bit quicker at it. To stay in.
Now what rests on the outcome of this shot?
Body language is good. Alan standing in the way. Well,
There's
saved
the
the
connection.
match. Oh, has he?
I'll bring it back round to you.
Certainly the other camera angle made that front ball look significantly closer than it is.
Allen with plenty to think about as he made his way back up to collect his last ball.
I think if he thinks he's lying at all, he'll try go wide side of the front one. Typical, someone decides to walk across the back of the rink.
Such a crucial stage in this second round tie.
Inside the front one, which is where his first two balls came from, is probably fraught with danger because he's only going to land the back of Jim's ball and maybe just guarantee one at wide side round that front one. If he can just touch his own down. Well, that's not wide side, is it? And it's not up. I suspect we'll see umpire in. Short ball, does that give you an indication? Does that suggest that Alan maybe thinks he's lying? Second shot in match.
Just illustrates the how deceptive the camera angle is there, doesn't it? An anxious wait then for both players.
Heavy touch on that one. It's the front ball. We go on. Thought my eyes were deceiving me there.
Certainly just felt the need to check it a second time. So we carry on. Alan Haney leads this second round tie 2019. .30 on a Monday morning and a place in the third round up for grabs.
Just having a look at my scorecard there, trying to work out if anybody had been scoring more heavily in this direction than the other, but they've both scored 6 times each coming in this direction, so it's bang even.
Alan's second shot following some shot. Alan with an excellent third shot there on the backhand coming through, securing good position. Jim, not surprisingly, going with the forehand, but seems short.
I'll be annoyed with that. He's made it very, very difficult for himself. The risk for Alan is that somehow Jim finds a way to the jack, then manages to put it in the ditch. So he may, in fact, I'd be surprised if he doesn't elect to try something a bit deep here.
Alan's final shot of the end.
Oh, he's changed sides. This could finish really quickly.
He has gone beyond the jack.
Yeah, he's made it. Sensible. He's got to back himself here. Whatever he chooses, he'll have to win the dead draw, or he's forcing through the gap in the front. He's close. He needs a bit of fortune though. And he's got it. Oh dear. Well, we're going all the way. It's a one-end shootout.
So Jim with the jack. This will be the final end. As Colin mentioned, a one-end shootout.
He's lost the jack.
What a time to roll it into the ditch.
I'm sure it makes a massive difference, although Alan has scored much more heavily at the long length. So what I suspect is what we'll see. Just a couple of yards, maybe three short of full length. This is where you dream of a front or a back toucher. What a line he's picked.
See there again at the top of the picture, Alan just willing his opener, the opening bowl of this final end. Looking for a little bit more on it. Second shot just coming up a little bit short. And again with the forehand. So Jim holding one at the moment. In pole position.
One close one kills this now. The wall in the front. If this gets past, there's reasonable weight. It's going to be incredibly hard to beat. Well, over to you, Alan. This is where you're going to have to call on all of your experience. The hand will let him play this though, because the hand will dip at the death, so he does have a chance, albeit a very difficult one.
And that was quite the shot played there by Jim Moffat. Backhand.
It's a feather. Makes it harder, I think. Jim would do well to cover the back corner of the rink. The only thing I can think of here for Alan is that can he strike it hard enough to kill the end? Another option is just to catch a slight corner of the shot bowling and hope that you run past as the jack moves. So. Choice time. Big deep breath.
This is when it becomes a match of such fine margins.
He's gone quick. Oh, it looks like he might have hit the target. Oh, what a try, what a game. Well done, Jim Moffat. Had to dig very deep there when Alan came back to him, crossed him at 15-13, but runs out the winner 21-20 in the tightest of games.
Yeah, it's handshakes there all round. Slightly rueful expression on the face of Alan Haney, but Jim Moffat was the player that really was able to get a comfortable start in the match with a shot in the first, the third and the fourth end, and then he had that treble at the sixth end opening up, and it was a 11-2 advantage. But what a second portion of the game played by Alan.
Look, I think both players showed a tremendous amount of resilience. Alan to come back and then Jim to keep in the game at 18-14 down. But there we are, and it's Jim who moves on to the next round.
Yeah, so Jim into the third round after a 21-20 victory over Alan Haney, and of course that the first of 3 live matches for you today. Coming up very shortly will be the ladies over 55 singles second round.